Well, happy Halloween, everyone. My name is here Dave, and we're going to do some chemical calisthenics. You ready? Now, for today's experiment, we're going to be making a rocket out of simple household ingredients. Now, rockets work with typical combustion, which the equation to is right here. So how are we going to simulate this combustion reaction? That's a great question. We're going to use baking soda, which is obviously a little bit basic, and vinegar as our fuel. Shake them up in a closed environment, cause a violent reaction. This way, we can see how acid-base reactions work just like combustion reactions. First, you're going to need some baking soda, some vinegar, a cork, which, hey, there's only one way to find a cork. Some pencils, a napkin, a paper towel, or a piece of tissue paper to hold your propellant, or in this case, our baking soda. Next, you're going to need a bottle. Now, I've heard somewhere on the internet, in a rumor that I made up, that store-bought water bottles actually fly a little bit higher than, say, your Gatorade bottles, but I could be wrong. Who knows, I made it up. And some tape. From here, we're going to pour our vinegar into our receptacles. Yummy! Now, this one I'll do. This one I'll do third. This one I'll do half. Right? And I'll label them. I'm going to write down some fractions in Sharpie just so I know which one is which. Right here we got 1/2. And here we got 1/3. And now when we mix our propellant in, which is of course our baking soda. And now once I drop it in, I'm gonna go ahead and cork it, shake it up, and then hopefully we'll have some action. Pop it, give it a little shake.
Oh, there we go.
Woo-hoo-hoo, what a ride! Now, although I didn't have any formal measuring equipment, I do know that I'm roughly about 6 feet tall, and the table that our Chem rocket sat on was about 36 inches off the ground. Now, at the apex of its flight, it reached about as high as I am, giving a total flight height of about 36 inches, which doesn't sound like much, but if you consider the fact that you're using household chemicals in an average bottle of water that is 8 inches high, we know that our propellant and fuel mixture gave us enough force to push our homemade rocket about 4.5 times higher than its own height. Now, under optimum conditions, we might be able to exceed this, but the only way for you to find out is to try it at home. Another modification that was made between the two flights, other than the amount of vinegar in each bottle, was the wrapping. I didn't even think about this. So in the first flight, I used a pretty thick napkin. In the second flight, I used a thinner piece of toilet paper as the propellant holder. Thanks for joining us. See you next time on Chem Wow.